I'm working with the Northern Alcohol Strategy in L'Orange. I left Justice January 2016. Started Northern Alcohol Strategy along with my wife Joan, who was a special needs probation officer. All of her clients were FASD, low cognitively functioning, schizophrenic. And she did really good with them. And a woman named Carla Frohag, who was in management and probation. Carla knows how bureaucracies work. And the three of us formed the Northern Alcohol Strategy. We had no budget. We were told to take off our government hats and work in and for communities. And we started to change the story we tell ourselves about alcohol in L'Orange. We got endorsements from the Lac L'Orange Indian Band, the town of L'Orange, the village of Orange, and then we just went out and we started talking to people, asking people, what can we do? How can we make a difference? And we talked to everybody. I went to the churches, talked to the preachers. I gave the Sunday sermon at the United Church. I went home right after and had a sweat, but I gave the Sunday sermon. We talked to the Chamber of Commerce. We talked to education. We talked to social services. I stood in line when people were getting their welfare check, and I interviewed them, and I went to court. And while people were waiting to talk to the judge, I pulled them into a side room and I interviewed them. We created surveys and we sent them out for people to fill in, and we sent them out in the water bill and we put them in mailboxes. We had a box at the clinic with surveys, and while you're waiting to talk to the doctor, you could fill out the survey and put it into a box. We talked to the doctors, and the doctors became our biggest allies because they could see it. The emergency room was often filled with busted faces and busted thumbs from drunks fighting and falling down, and all of the other injuries from alcohol. And we got everybody to work together. We got everybody talking the same language. We brought in experts to train our doctors on pharmacological interventions, on naltrexone and acamprosate. They're opiate blockers. They take the craving away. And after we trained our doctors, L'Orange doctors have the highest prescription rates for naltrexone in the province. We lobbied the provincial government to, before we started, naltrexone wasn't covered by the Saskatchewan formulary. We got that changed. Indian Affairs didn't pay for it. We got them to start a pilot project in northern Saskatchewan, and now it's across Canada. National Insured Health Benefits now pays for naltrexone and acamprosate because they work. And we got everybody working together. The Lac L'Orange Indian Band started putting on sober events, alcohol-free events. So imagine a New Year's dance where 400 people show up and there's no alcohol and you can bring your kids. And just everybody working together. James Irvine was the chief medical officer for Northern Saskatchewan Population Health. And he got permission to do a study in the emergency room in L'Orange in October of 2016. And he just had the nurses fill out a form every time somebody came to emergency, and it had nobody's name on it. It just said what they were there for and if alcohol was involved. And we took that data for the whole month of October 2016 and we put it on a chart by the day. And you can see peaks and valleys all across the month. And all of the peaks, the high points where more people showed up to emergency because of alcohol, at those peaks were paydays, family allowance, child tax credit, provincial paydays, band paydays. And we went to Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority and we got their sales records by the day. And they matched up all across the month. All of the peaks and valleys matched up. And we went to the RCMP and we got their alcohol-related calls for service by the day. And I don't have to tell you. They all match up all across the month. We went to the schools and we got truancy numbers. And the kids stop going to school the day before the check comes because they see the shit coming. We did that in 2016, in October, November of 2017. We missed 2018, we didn't get it done. March 2019, we did it again. And in that period from when we started until that last survey we did, crime in La Ronge is down. Alcohol-related calls for service by the RCMP are down. Emergency room visits related to alcohol are down by 8%. School attendance is up. You can make a difference. And justice had nothing to do with it. Trying to get justice on board to do something, anything, has been almost impossible. There's a bracelet. If I put it on your foot, it measures the alcohol that comes out of your skin. If you drink alcohol, 1% of that alcohol comes out through your skin unchanged, and that bracelet can measure it. So if someone's on a judge's order not to consume alcohol, and they drink, that bracelet will use their cell phone to phone the RCMP. Most of the people that we send to jail because they either cannot or will not stop drinking. And if they're not drinking, they're safe to have in the community. It's only when they're drunk that they're a problem. It's only when they're drunk that they're dangerous. So we can put a bracelet on somebody's foot to make sure that they stay sober. And if they stay sober, we don't have to send them to jail. And that bracelet's available. And I've been trying to convince justice to use it. I know of places where it's been used, and because of the bracelet and other initiatives that keep offenders from drinking, initiatives that work, the death rate has gone down by 4%. No, the death rate has gone down. Heart attacks alone were down by 4%. Imagine what we could do in northern Saskatchewan if we had a way to prevent people from drinking. We could save lives. But I can't convince justice to do anything. The bureaucracy is just stalled. It's not because any one person doesn't want to do it. It's because that machine is so huge. It's like a huge ship, and you can't turn it. It just keeps sailing in the same direction.